getting better, steadily getting better at this point.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so for the resolutions, we've kind of got two sections. One is just Art and her. Well, this one section is Art and her connection with Mr. Freeman, who's the art teacher.
Mr. Freeman is definitely interesting. In the beginning of the book, you hear about him drawing this massive, making this massive painting.
Mm-hmm.
And while he's making this painting, he starts. It's still recording. But while he's making this painting, he's trying to figure out what he wants to make it. And throughout the story, it becomes clear that he's making it the directors of the school board in like a jail, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Was it? And then near the end
it was
of the
like
book,
something in the middle of the streets, like in a jail cell, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like the windows were all replaced with jail cells.
But either way, near the end of the book, he decides he doesn't want to do it.
And then he just like rip up the painting.
Yeah, he takes the what is that?
The canvas?
No, not the canvas. He takes what is the block that sculptures or sculpture block? He takes I think he takes her sculpture chisel thing and he
Oh yeah, he rips it up.
He rips it, yeah.
But like what I was thinking for the resolution is because he actually helps her because he is the one person that she feels confident talking to, because even after she talked to Rachel and was, rejected, and it was shown that, the talking wasn't doing her any good, she felt like she could go to Mr. Freeman and talk, because like...
Yeah, but this is like, she feels like she can go to Mr. Freeman and talk after the whole
even
scene
at the
with
mall
closet.
scene. After she's... I can't remember if it was at the mall scene or after the coffee shop. It was sometime when she was running outside, Mr. Freeman comes by and picks her up in the car. And he's like, "Oh, are you okay?" And he's like, "It's fine." And he like warms her up in the car, puts her right next to the heater, and they talk a little bit. They don't get really in depth because he can tell she doesn't want to talk about it. But and then the very end of the book, the last sentence is her saying, like, here, I'll look up what is the last sentence.
Her last sentence is, "Mr. Freeman, I have something I want to tell you." And this is after the whole near assault with Andy. Well, this is assault. This is not sexual assault, though. He tries. But she speaks out, actually, this time. She finally speaks out. Like, she screams and she says her piece. And people come running to help. And the lacrosse team is there. And so
it's let me tell you about it is the last thing she says.
And so after this, the whole scene is happening. And people are finally understanding why she was acting the way she did and why she called the cops. And so in the near the end, you hear one girl say, "Hey, I'm sorry about what happened. I hope you're doing better." It's a girl we haven't even heard before. Melinda says, I don't know who this girl is, which shows that the rumors have spread about what happened. And so Melinda going to Mr. Freeman and telling him that she wants to talk to him about this thing proves she definitely would rather tell him herself than have him hear from an untrustworthy source.
And it's showing that she's accepting it now. She's accepted it herself, that she needs to talk about it, and then now she's accepting that she needs to talk to somebody else about it. And the other two things I said was saying no to Heather and fighting back and saying no to Andy Evans. We've kind of talked about saying no to Heather already, but that was still, I think, a big event.
Saying no to Andy Evans, was by far one of the most spine-tingling parts. He had trespassed into her little safe haven at school, and as I said before, tried to sexually assault her again. Because he was annoyed. Rumors were spreading about him from that list.
Well, no, because it was just because I remember him specifically saying, because I read this again today, this paragraph, he was saying that because she had told Rachel had told him about it with her concern, and he was like saying it's BS and you're lying to her. He was saying that Melinda is lying to Rachel, and so he's like, now you're gonna pay for it, which was just, oh my goodness, it was so bad. But he tries to pin her to the wall. He's locked the door of the closet. He's pinning her to the wall, and she is grabbing books and throwing them at her, and she has decided to fight back. And this time, the first time that he sexually assaulted her was she couldn't make any noises and she just couldn't move. She was so drunk. This time, she lets out a no. She's screaming. She's throwing books at her.
She wonders why the walls of the school are crumbling down. She's screaming that loudly.
And she
ends up breaking
the mirror.
She breaks the mirror with her sculpture block, like the turkey bone sculpture thing.
While he's on the ground and he's got him pinned down. She breaks it with her open hand, and she presses it down so far on his neck that a drop of blood squirts out. And then he's just like, that's the point where I feel like he's like, oh crap.
He realizes she's serious about this whole thing. And so he stops, and the lacrosse team comes, and everything
Yeah, because
happens.
they've heard her screaming.
Of course, who's not going to hear screaming? They were in a water closet. But it's a really, when you read that part of the book, it's really intense, really emotionally chilling, and you really feel this girl's pain that she's been keeping hidden for a long time. And that's it for the resolution, am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've got this list of stuff that I thought was interesting. If we didn't hit any of these, if you want to hit some of them,
Sure.
we can talk about them.
Let's
Just
talk about some.
choose. What do you want to talk about? Here, I can look up what these pages are. Because I was dumb and I did not write down what said. I just looked at the pages. Was it
Okay.
104?
The counselor meeting.
The counselor meeting. What page is
113 and 116. I'm going to go check something real quick.
Okay, I will talk about the counselor meeting. Okay, so the counselor meeting is when her parents have picked up that her grades are dropping and she's skipping school, and she's all of a sudden changed from her previous good girl, special attitude and everything into being this person, skipping school and being tardy and getting bad grades, but it shows that she gets like D's and F's and C's and all this kind of thing. So when she gets to the counselor's meeting, she does not speak. She cannot talk about anything. She obviously does not want to speak, but she's also just, people are yelling at her. Like, one of these quotes is, "Why won't you say anything? For the love of God, open your mouth. This is childish, Melinda. Say something. You're only hurting yourself by refusing to cooperate. I don't know why she's doing this to us." And, which, I also think that the last thing is interesting. I don't know why she's doing this to us. Because obviously Melinda is going through a lot of trouble and a lot of pain, and there's a lot of things that she needs to talk about and that she's having a hard time dealing with, but they kind of see it as a problem on their point that, oh no, my daughter's not talking to me. They're taking it more as their problem than as her problem. And one thing which was really interesting so the guidance counselor says, "I think we need to explore the family dynamics at play here." The mother says, "She's jerking us around to get attention." And then it says me, and it says, "Inside my head, would you listen? Would you believe me? Fat chance." Dad says, "Well, something is wrong. What have you done to her? I had a sweet, loving little girl last year, but as soon as she comes here, she clamps up, skips school, and flushes her grades down the toilet. I golf with the school board president, And it's just, the counselor asks if they have marriage issues, which is important because at a different time in the book, Melinda says that she claims that if she was not born, then she thinks that her parents would have divorced because of how we've talked about her father is very, he doesn't pull his weight. His mother's very stressed, and she thinks that they would have divorced if it wasn't for Melinda. Which is really bad on her part, which is really bad for her, I would say. Because, she's already dealing with this, and she feels like, I've said previously that she doesn't feel like she can stay home. She tries to avoid going home. And it's not a good environment. During the counselor meeting, her parents take it more as their problem than Melinda's, saying that she won't talk. And her mother even says, "You think this is funny? We're talking about your future life here, Melinda," because her mother is very strict and doesn't allow... Her mother has planned out more of Melinda